Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Karina. Thanks for joining me, and I know it's been a while, but life happens, But today we're here with a bang because I have a video that I've never done before, which is baking. It's something that I've found love to during COVID. It's something that I really enjoy doing now. I don't do it as much as I used to during COVID because I had more time during that period. But every now and then that I get a chance to bake or try something new, I do it. So yeah, fun fact is that I actually prefer salty stuff over sweets. I'm really not a sweets person. And as I mentioned during COVID, it's something that I picked up. I wanted to learn something new to do. And I figured, let me learn how to bake. So I started doing it. I like baking. I like trying new things. And so far, so good. I mean, there hasn't been no complaints so far. No one's gotten sick with my bakes. So I think they're good. We're good to go. But anyway, so what am I doing today? Today, I'm actually trying a new recipe. This is something that I've never tried baking. It's my first time, but I've really been wanting to do it. And I watched many videos and read many recipes, and it looks very simple to make. So I'm like, I could do that. I can try to do that. However, I'm doing it with a twist. So another fun fact is I love matcha. So if you love matcha, comment below. But that's something that I really, really liked. And one day I was on TikTok and I came across this video that had a matcha tres leches cake. And I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? So I right away tried to see if there was a recipe for it because I'm like, great, I can try to make that. But there was no recipe and it didn't show like step by step like usually videos show. It was literally just a picture of a matcha tres leches with like someone cutting it, putting strawberries. It looked delicious. So I did some more research, try to look on YouTube, try to look at recipes. And I really couldn't come across anything with like step by step as how to bake a matcha tres leches. But I figured like, don't you just add the matcha and then you make it into a tres leches matcha cake? So that's technically what I'm doing. Again, this is my first time doing it. So we'll see. We'll see how that comes out. So if you want to learn how I'm making this tres leches matcha cake for the first time, stick around and let's get started. We're going to start off with me sharing the ingredients that I'll be using for today. And then I'll do step by step. Maybe I'll do a voiceover as to how I go about doing everything. But first, let me just clarify again, public service announcement. I am not a baker. I don't claim to be a baker. I'm not a professional. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing, but I try. That's, if you take away anything from this video, is not only obviously making the matcha cake, but also that give it a try. You won't know if you don't try. But anyways, that was my public service announcement. For this video, I'm not going to do the cake from scratch.
I know you guys were expecting me to do it from scratch, but no, I don't do that. That would take too long.
But so we're using already the batter to make cake. This is one of the brands that I really enjoy baking with, is a Betty Crocker. And I'm using the super moist white cake. So usually you want to use yellow cake. This is what I can find, so we're using this one. Next time, if this doesn't work, I'll try the other one. But it's just a super moist white cake or yellow cake. Then you just follow the instructions in the back. It says 1 cup of water, half a cup of vegetable oil, and 3 egg whites. Instead of me using water, I always use milk. That to me, it tastes better, but to each his own. And for milk, my favorite milk, and I'll stick to it, is Lala. Lala milk should sponsor me. But we're using Lala. We're using Lala. Then we'll need some heavy whipping cream. We'll need some, obviously I already said vegetable oil. We'll need strawberries. We'll need La Lechera original. This is the brand that everybody recommends to try. If you're using any sweetened condensed milk, use La Lechera. And then we're using some evaporated milk. And the star of the show, matcha. Now, I've tried many matchas, and my favorite one is the one from Trader Joe's. If you don't want something sweet, the Trader Joe's is not sweet. It kind of is, but you can't really taste that sweetness. You taste more of that matcha taste. But this one already comes with. It tastes to me like it already probably does have sugar. I haven't even read the ingredients, but this is the one that I use without having to add any sweeteners, or you could add vanilla, whatever you want. But you can get this on Amazon. I found it sometimes on Marshalls or TJ Maxx, but you can find them in Amazon. So if you're not using matcha for your tres leches, then you'll need sugar for your whipping cream. But since this is already sweetened, I'm not using any what's it called? Any sugar. That's what I meant. Okay, so now that you know the ingredients that we're using, let's get started. Okay, let's get started with this cake. This is the most important part. Of course, getting the cake going in the oven so that we can later give it enough time to cool down so we can work on the other ingredients as well while that's baking. So here, as you can see, I just took the super moist Betty Crocker mixed and I simply follow the instructions in the back, guys. It's easy as that. As I mentioned, I'm using milk instead of water. It's just a preference for me when I bake. I always substitute the water with milk. I think it gives it more moisture and a different taste, but if you do it with water, it'll still work the same way. Then you use your vegetable oil and your 3 eggs. You mix, you mix, you mix until you have that texture that you need to put it in your bowl, and it can go right in the oven. This part is optional too. I use some baking spray for my pan and I just spray it. This basically helps for your cake not to stick, but I doubt that it would stick because I'm using so much moisture. But either way, I added some and then I grab a paper towel and kind of take any excess off. We don't want it to be like super greasy or anything. You could use other type of sprays, but this is the one that I use. And then I'll take my batter, my cake batter, add it to the pan. Oh, make sure that your oven is already hot. I set mine at 350. I'm going to put the cake for about 45 minutes. I think this one I left it for 45 minutes if I'm not mistaken. And it came out perfectly. So yeah, just taking that batter, adding it all in, and then it's going right in the oven. Now that we have our cake baking, we can start off with our tres leches mixture. So you basically take the 3 leches I mentioned at the beginning, you mix them all together. I don't think the order matters. Perhaps it does, I don't know, but I started with the lechera. And quick note, if you have any leftover lechera on that can, don't throw it away. Take some of your strawberries and a little bit of milk, and you have fresas con crema. There you go. Anyways, so I scrape all that lechera out, and then I'll take my evaporated milk, add that as well, and then take some of the Leche Lala, add it to the little lechera can, and pour it in there. After you poured all your leches in the bowl, you want to mix really good to combine all those leches, especially because the lechera is thicker and you want to make sure that that dissolves, especially too because this is where I added my matcha mixture, which is one of the things that I would switch up for next time. It took me a long time to mix that matcha into the milks. I don't know if it was because of the lechera, although I tried my best to mix it all very well before I added the matcha. I just feel that perhaps that was a reason why it was taking so long for the matcha to dissolve. Another quick note is that if you're doing this recipe, make sure that the matcha that you're using can't be used in cold drinks. What I mean by that is that some matcha is made specifically only for you to pour it in hot drinks, and once it's cooled down you can add ice. But this matcha that I'm using, it works for cold or hot beverages. So that's just a note, because I did notice that. I'm like, I think if I would have used a Trader Joe one, it would have not worked. But anyways, going back to the matcha, and what I would switch is I would put the matcha mixture in the milk, mix that really well, and then pour it into the other leches. But you learn something new every day, right? So now I'm going to put that in the fridge while I work on the other ingredients. Now it's time to cut up all my strawberries. I took a few of those strawberries that I had and I diced them into really small pieces, because in my mind what I wanted to do was first put a layer of that whipping cream mix that I would make, then sprinkle some of those small strawberries, then add another layer of that matcha whipping cream and add the bigger pieces of strawberries. If I could go back, I would actually add way more strawberries, but this is all I had. But I think this is just personal preference. If you really like strawberries, then add more. If you don't add them. I really like the combination of matcha with strawberries, or any tres leches, as a matter of fact. But yes, so dice those all up. Our cake is almost ready to come out. Once it comes out, we're going to put our cake on the side for a few minutes. As you can see, it came out perfect. Set it there for a few minutes. Then what you'll do is take either a knife, a fork, and you take that fork or knife and start adding little holes to the cake all around the cake. And I don't think I got it on video, but you'll take that knife and go around the cake too, because you want to give it enough room, so especially in the edges, for that leches mixture to go all the way in there. But we'll leave that to the side to cool off a little bit. Now we're going to do our whipping cream mixture. This is where I took 2 cups of this heavy whipping cream, and then I took my matcha again and substitute my matcha for the sugar. If you're not adding matcha to this heavy whipping cream, then you would put sugar. But as I mentioned earlier, this matcha has sugar already. It's sweet, not super sweet, but sweet enough for me. And just mix it all in there. I think I ended up putting about 4 spoonfuls of matcha, if I'm not mistaken. I honestly can't remember, but it depends how sweet you want it. I decided not to go with so much matcha because I didn't want the cake to be overpowering sweet. As a reminder, you're using that Leches mixture and it's already sweet, so just quick note. Now that my cake has cooled off and I put my whipping cream in the fridge, I'm taking the leche mixture, or the Leches mixture, and adding it all to the cake. It might look like a lot, but trust me, it's gonna soak it all in. Just move it, poke it, and it'll take it all in. Now, if you don't want your tres leches to be super like wet, then don't add all the mixture, to each his own. But I added it all because I love tres leches to be super moist. So that gets wrapped and it goes in the fridge. Our cake is ready for the whipping cream with matcha and then the strawberries. Now let me tell you, keep in mind that when you make tres leches cake, the ideal thing that you should do is keep it in the fridge for as long as you can. In the ideal world, you would keep it for 24 hours because that's what's going to help the cake soak in all that leche that you added. But your girl don't got time for that today. So I put it in the fridge and left it there for about almost 3 hours. But if you can't do it for 24 hours, then do it at least for 2 to 3 hours so that that leche gets soaked into the cake. The next step is to take some of our strawberries and sprinkle them, the little ones that I made. Well, I'm going to put some whipping cream, then sprinkle some of those small pieces. Then we'll go in with some more whipping cream on top of that and add the bigger slices for decoration. So I'll show you how I do that. And here you go. Ta-da! It actually smells good. You can hear the background. My nephew's like, wow. Yes, because it does look amazing, not going to lie, but I did a good job. Now, I don't know if it tastes good, but we'll see about that. We'll do a taste test, but I think it came out nice. I mean, it's green. When I tried the whipping cream, it tasted like matcha. And then when we put the leches in the cake, I tried some of that leche, and it kind of tasted like matcha. So I'm hoping it's a good combination. Again, never done this. I don't know if anybody has tried. If you've ever done it, show me how you did your own recipe to see. I did notice some things that maybe next time I would tweak, but overall, I think I'm content. Nonetheless. Okay, here it is a piece. It kind of is a little too moist, but I feel it's also because it hasn't been in the refrigerator for long. Maybe, I don't know. Never done it, but here it goes. I'm gonna be honest with you. If it's nasty, I'll tell you that it's nasty. Again, I've never done a tres leches, yet alone a matcha tres leches. So let's see. Let's see. Amazing. Contact Karina for your tres leches cake because I got you. Not going to lie, for my first time, for it to be a matcha tres leches, I think it's a unique taste. But now the real test is my nephew and my niece really want to try it. And of course they want to embarrass me because they want to tell you the truth. They don't think I'm being honest probably, but I think I give myself a 9. No, I would give myself an 8.5 just because I didn't let it sit for as long, but it's decent. It's decent. Okay. I have my biggest critics here, especially this one over here. He's very special when it comes to taste. So we'll see. I'll give them the part so they can see. Valeria, you go first.
Ooh, I'm excited. I love, if you guys didn't see the other video about the mystery drinks, you already know that I love matcha. I'm obsessed with it. Goodbye.
I'm gonna try.
Here, I'm gonna give you a new
Oh
one.
my gosh.
No, I'm going to pour it by myself.
I know, but I'm gonna give you a different cuchara.
You don't even know how good that tastes.
Put the strawberry.
Oh my god. That was like heaven in my mouth. Wow. That's good.
Can you tell he's picky?
Mm.
10 out of 10?
100, 100.
100.
I give that 1,000 out of 10.
You do?
Yeah,
You're
it's
gonna leave me hanging?
It's bussin'.
It's buzzing.
It's buzzing. New terminology. I did a good job then. Well, thank you guys for reviewing my cake.
Slayed.
No.
3. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoy watching my tres leches. Well, let me say it again. My matcha tres leches cake that I just did for you guys. Let me know if you try this out. I really enjoy doing this. And I can tell you right now in the background, they're eating my cake and they're in love. So I guess it's really good. I'm proud of myself because, again, if you take anything away from this video, try doing something new. You never know. It might turn out great, just like my matcha tres leches cake. With that being said, guys, thanks so much for joining me again. Until next time, bye.